Hello everyone, Krydax here, and welcome back to Kerbal Space Program RP-1. I know it's been a little while since our last upload. I've had a lot of busy life stuff going on, and as I said in the last, I've said it a few times now, this series is coming to a close, and this will either be the last or the penultimate, I'm not sure, episode, because our final goal, I've decided, is to get our, whatchamacallit, where's the first orbital crewed flight. I think once we do that with a real human, I will feel like we've gotten to a good stopping point. And I'm pretty excited about that. We did get a dog. A Doge has circled the planet and returned home safely after passing out for a few moments due to high G-forces. And so now it's all about getting the astronaut complex upgraded here, which is a little ways away. So we're probably going to be doing some inefficient time warping at this point because this is kind of our only goal left. I'm not really worried about designing and launching a bunch of other craft alongside that. We've been trying to be really time efficient up to this point. I think we're going to be done with that, so we're going to move to October where we can begin training Eileen on the Mercury program, which I forget what we called it. What did I call it? Locust? Is that right? I don't remember what we called this program, but Eileen is going to be trained, and we're going to get her on a crewed orbit. And yeah, I just want to say, before we kind of dive into doing that, this RP-1 playthrough has been awesome. I love this mod. It is almost a 100% chance that when I play KSP again the next time, it will be RP-1 again. It's hard to imagine ever going back to not having the integration system, the construction system, the research system. I've never felt so in love with the systems of this game. And one thing that I really love, I even got the mod at one point called Kerbal R&D, which allowed you to upgrade parts with research points, but it felt a little overpowered. And I just love how this is actually tracking along real life history, but it's also like RPG progression. Like, I love leveling things up and just getting more efficient stuff. And in a lot of real world scenarios, that's actually not realistic. And what's so cool about this is because it follows real human spaceflight history, things getting more efficient actually is not only accurate, but it's fun in the game. It's like, oh, the engine that I had before now gives me more ISP, but I had to pay for that upgrade. And like, I love that. That makes it feel like, I love progression systems in games, but actually being able to get more efficient on the same part or similar types of parts, or cheaper because you tooled it, like, it's all just right up my alley. So all that to say, I love RP-1. Huge props to anyone who's ever worked on it and all of the people who have helped design it and give feedback to it. I love it. So anyway, we're going to fast forward to our astronaut complex upgrade here, and then we can start training Eileen. Sorry for all the flashing, that's just how this goes. RTGs are being researched, so for things that need just a little bit of power for a long time, we can get those going pretty nicely. And I've finally got a good amount of funding, so we could probably hire some more scientists at this point. Ooh, astronaut complex is now upgraded. Kerbal can perform EVAs, training rates go up, and then you can do EVA training. But let's figure out how we get our Kerbals trained up here. So astronauts, Eileen, no, training. Proficiency first. Eileen, start training. Will take 309 days. No wonder people in the comments were saying I needed to start that early. Oh my gosh. Let's queue up some more research while we're doing that. Docking and crew transfer. I don't think I need... I will do an SRB research, and then another orbital rocketry, and another orbital rocketry, and then we'll work on improved power, improved comms, and an upgrade for all my avionics. And then if we ever get that far, we'll do lunar exploration era electronics research, which is slated for 1966. So we're still kind of, in some ways, on track for that, believe it or not. Sweet. Okay, so we're gonna warp to some more completed stuff. Hydrolox engines done. Oh, it'll be fun to get to use those maybe in our next RP-1 playthrough. Man, this feels weird to not be designing anything in between all these times. It just feels wrong. You know what? Hold on. Can I might as well upgrade this. It increases the training rate. I have the funding. Might as well upgrade our astronaut complex again. Wow, that research is taking 253 days. This is a lot of time warp, y'all. My reputation's tanking. Because we're not doing anything. The entire space program is just sitting on their butts while Eileen is getting trained. Alright, Eileen is now trained. So now we need to do Mission Mercury. And that takes 67 days. Okay, hold on. Do I need to put the craft in our integration list. Whoops, I should have done that a minute ago. So... okay, let's find our human-rated cicada. That's what it is. Cicada 1 is going to take Eileen to space and back. Now, it's been like a week and a half since I played, or slightly more, maybe 2 weeks. So I don't really remember how to fly the cicada. So hopefully Eileen will survive. I'm sure she'll be fine. So we go ahead and call this the Cicada 2, because the Cicada 1 took the dog to space. Sorry, I just realized this Cicada 2 already exists. What? No, it doesn't. I just went to load something. What is that? I don't understand that. I'm kind of realizing this episode might be a little shorter because of us just doing all this time warping. So, I did kind of maybe mislead you guys a little bit when I was like, oh, don't worry, there'll still be a few more episodes, because it just doesn't make sense to do a bunch more missions at this point. This is such a good stopping point, the first human orbit, and like, it's a pretty big step to actually get people landing on the moon and coming back safely. So that's too far away to get to. I also think getting a lunar probe to land on the moon and come back is also a pretty big step. And that would be another few episodes. So I don't quite have the desire to play that much more. I've really had my fun with RP1, but I'm not really interested in continuing this anymore. And that's not because I don't like the game. It's hard to describe. Different people approach video games differently. So if you understand what I'm saying, then what I'm about to say isn't for you. But some of you might be like, I don't get it. What do you mean you're done with RP1? Like, why are you not playing? Do you not like it? Are you not having fun? And it's like, no, it's none of those things. For certain people, myself included, sometimes you just lose interest in a game, and it's not because you don't like it. And this happens to me a lot with games, so I'm not the kind of person that just sticks with one game and plays a million hours of it, and that's all I ever do. So yeah, all that to say, like, I'm not quitting because I'm not having fun. I'm not quitting because I'm bored. I'm just moving on because I'm more interested in other things, and that's how I want to spend my time. So I hope you guys can understand. Like I said, this series will be back someday. And I've moved on. If you're curious, you know, I've moved on to, I'm putting a lot of time still into my Pyanodons series for Factorio. I've been playing a lot of Path of Exile 2, which has been really fun, and I've been putting time into Backpack Battles, which is a really fun game. All of the games I just named are all very different. Kerbal Space Program, RP1, Factorio. I guess those two are probably the closest, because I'm playing Pyanodons. And then Backpack Battles, and then Path of Exile 2. They're all quite different games, but I'm enjoying all of them a lot. So, anyway, I hope you guys understand, but yeah, this mission is going to be our final mission, assuming it's successful. Wait, did I not hit integrate? Dummy. Dummy, Krydax. I opened the whole thing up, and then I never hit the integrate button. Oh well. I have to hit the launch. There we go. Oh man, this has been a great series. It is kind of sad to watch it come to a close. We're ending with 1 million funds in the bank. That's never a good thing. All I can think about is how much more whatchamacallit, how much more science we could have had if we had hired more scientists. The thing I am a little bit bummed about is we never got to do interplanetary. And like, I know that landing on the moon with humans comes before interplanetary in some ways, but I actually, wait, no, I don't know that. When did we do our first interplanetary probe? Was that before humans landed on the moon? I don't think I could tell you. But like, I don't know, there's a part of me that just longs to get to the end of this tech tree someday, but that's such a huge journey. I don't know if we'll ever do that. But maybe. Maybe one summer, when I don't have a bunch of other series to keep up with, I can just spend 50 hours. I also think this game is good for streaming, so there's a chance that my next series is a live stream rather than pre-recorded. Because I could see just playing this game for 8 hours straight, and then it's fun for people to like hang out and participate in the production process of rockets and stuff, and even give me tips or ideas as I'm designing things, or like, wait, you forgot to put battery in that thing. That can be really helpful too. But we are going to... Wait. Yeah, no, I want to add Eileen. First orbital. I mean, here we go. I hope you guys are excited. This has been a moment long coming. You know, I don't know how many hours I've sunk into this playthrough, but 60 maybe? 70 at this point? Because we were 30 plus episodes. A lot of those episodes were 2 hours, and I spent a lot of hours playing in between episodes when I was dealing with MechJeb stuff and testing things. Especially when I was obsessed and all I wanted to do was play the game. I spent quite a few hours working on stuff outside. So I think we're probably about 60 hours in. And I have just had nothing but love for this series. But we are going to pop open our launch ascent guidance. I think this is all good to go. Ascent settings. Let's check our notes for the Cicada booster is 50.22, 3400. Hot stage 1.6, 155 km orbit. That's all good to go. 155 km meets our need for the thing. All right. Eileen, how are you feeling? Where's the, oh, I guess it's up here. No? Which button is it? There's the vitals of Eileen. And comfort is good. Living space is cramped. That sounds about right. Okay, here we go. The final, the final sunrise. It's kind of sad. This has been a great journey. Thanks for joining me on it, everyone. We're gonna go ahead and hit spacebar in 3, 2, 1. We're gonna go ahead and hit spacebar in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Yay, the perfect launch. Hooray. You saw nothing. You saw nothing? Wait, we need last stage to be 2. I screwed that up. Okay, glad I noticed that now. Alright, Eileen, how you feeling? Hope you're feeling good. You've got 5 hours of electric charge. Wait, only 5 hours? I guess that's enough. We only need an hour and a half. 2 days of water. And things are still looking okay. think. Pitching over very slowly, but that's part of the point, so we don't burn up this capsule. I still am a little... I think we looked it up in the last episode, and it's just because the Mercury capsule never did orbit. I think the Mercury capsule only did suborbital. So I think that's why my speed was a problem, is because we were trying to get to orbital speeds instead of suborbital speeds. I could be wrong about that. Definitely let me know in the comments. I'm not a history buff, but I think last time I Googled those things, that's the realization I came to. Because this capsule just can't withstand the heat if we go on a normal orbital launch. So, hey, a crude altitude record. Crude speed record. Another crude altitude record. We're going to keep getting those. Oh, there's another one. 25 kilometers. I mean, this is our first crewed space rocket flight ever of any type. So, that's pretty exciting. And I'm doing this in real time. Not the entire orbit, don't worry. We're not going to watch an hour and a half of orbit in real time. But the, wow, that was an intense pitch over. We are going to do the full launch in real time. All sorts of records, speed records, altitude records. Reputation is skyrocketing again. 2330, it's only gonna keep going up. 2340, people are watching humans go to space and they're getting very excited. All right, here comes the staging. And we have successful separation. At this point, chance of success is very high. Oh, gotta turn on RCS. Very high chance of success. There's a very low failure rate on these separation motors, and I've got 4 of them, so we should be okay one way or another. 2393, we are getting so much reputation from these records. And Eileen is just having a grand old time. Aw, Eileen goes to space. Alright, what do we got for time? 200 seconds left? Okay, maybe I'll time warp this a little bit. 3 minutes of just watching this is a little bit boring. But it's also kind of exciting. It's also kind of exciting. So how many launches did we do? I mean, we did a lot. Even just looking at things in orbit, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-ish in orbit around Earth. And then around the moon, we've got 2 things in orbit around the moon. So that's at least 17 things in Earth's orbit. Wow. Oops, wrong button. I'm gonna hit the map button. Okay, I'm gonna hyperwarp a little bit here. Finish out this last burn. Getting up to orbital velocity, 5 kilometers a second. I'll slow it down when we get to about 40 seconds left. Alright, we're up to 6,500 meters a second. Eileen is hurtling through space, starting to fall sideways faster than she's falling down. So she'll just keep missing the planet no matter how hard she tries. We've gotten a lot more contracts complete. Wow, our reputation has ballooned with all of these records. That one's a big one. 45 reputation, 78 reputation. I didn't even see what that last one was, but jeez. And here we go. We're in orbit. It is very much the wrong orbit. The early shut-off stage wasn't stage 2. Crap. Well, Eileen, I hope you live. Hold on, I gotta get our periapsis up a little higher here. Oh, I guess 155. I thought 155 was the threshold, and I was like, oh no, we're not gonna complete our orbit. All right, let me turn off rotation here. Okay, so we screwed up a little bit, and Eileen is in an elliptical orbit that gets 1,000,000 meters away. She wasn't planning on that, but it shouldn't be a problem. But she is gonna have to... Oh yeah, she gets crew reports. Oh, cool. Trying to describe what I'm in here. I'm in a big mass of some very small particles. Oh, I can't really read that fast enough. I guess I'd have to... Can you read it later? I actually don't know how to. All right, anyway, we're gonna have to deorbit at periapsis, which means I'm gonna have to do an orbit and a half. Which is a little scary. Liquid oxygen tanks are empty. Uh-oh. Ooh, Eileen. You knew there was a risk flying up in this spacecraft. I could totally just reload this too. It's kind of exciting to see if we can make this work, but like, obviously I just didn't hit the button of early shut off stage 2. Like, I was supposed to do that, and I didn't. So I don't mind reloading that. If this ends up in Eileen's death, I will reload it, because obviously in real life they wouldn't have made that mistake on the checklist. But I am curious to see if we can deorbit at this point. How do I even, or what do I even do here? I need to enable RCS on the capsule, which I did. Okay, that lets me turn a little bit. So I think we can deorbit properly at our apoapsis. If I tried now, I might not get in enough atmosphere. Let's time warp to apo. We're losing a lot of electric charge, but we should have enough. This is why we gave ourselves a few extra hours. I'm actually feeling proud of myself for doing that. All right, so now we want to get to retrograde. I might just smartass it. Oh, here, at least let me get close-ish. Okay, we're getting there. And then we should be able to hit spacebar. And that will deorbit us. And we hopefully don't die on re-entry. And if we do, I will reload it. This was a silly mistake. But I'm curious what'll happen. And it makes for a good story. Okay. Go ahead and chill here, spin a little bit. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and spacebar. And spacebar. Now, I will time warp. Till we hit the atmosphere. Exposed to extreme radiation. Earth's radiation belt. Oh, that's scary. How many rads did she eat? Okay, not enough for that to matter. It was pretty quick. Alright, we are full on ice cream coning it right now. Okay, so here we go. I'd like you to orient yourself to be retrograde again. What? I have no control left. That's bad. Why? Hold on. What's going on? Turn off RCS. Dumb. Stupid. There we go. Okay. This part's very important to our survival. I mean, we tried it. I've never tried full on sideways, though. We did try a little bit of wrong orientation, but... Uh-oh. I overshot things a little bit there. I feel like we're getting close here. Yeah, there we go. Okay, now start spinning. Nope. Well, turns out forgetting to hit a button can be a fatal mistake for Eileen, so I'm glad we simulated that. And now we won't make that mistake in the real launch, which is this one. 2 and 2. I think I'm trying to figure out what exactly happened on that re-entry. I think I just needed to have the angle right. It's possible that our speed was a little bit too much because of having the higher apoapsis. That means you descend down through the atmosphere faster. But I don't know. Okay. I think we're good to go this time. Ugh. Make mistake A, reload. Make mistake B, reload. Make mistake A again, but not B. And then finally, we will make no mistakes. That's how we do it. All right. Sweet. Hey, I had to make the last episode exciting somehow. I promise none of that was on purpose. LOL. Oh, man. So we'll fast forward this one. This time, early shutoff is a thing. And then it flops over, and then we separate in T-minus 10, 5. We have ignition. Perfect. Turn on the RCS. And now this should get us to a much more consistent orbit here. All right, 113 seconds left. 80. 60. 40. 20, And we got 78 points for 5 kilometers a second and 111 reputation for 7,000 kilometers. I mean, this contract gives you a bunch, but like, holy crap, who needs the contract when you've just got all these speed records? It's like probably 300 more reputation from this crewed orbit. Makes sense. Humans are pretty excited about stuff like that. Okay, but we are good to go with our orbit now. So now we only need to stay in space just long enough to finish the contract. An hour. I like that they put actual quotes in there. That's really cool. John Glenn, Mercury, Atlas 6. All right. We've completed one orbit. So now we are going to turn retrograde. Now we just gotta get home safe. All right, Eileen, you ready for this? Go ahead and spin a little bit. Oh, these aren't good at spinning. These are turned off right now, I think. These things. Control, RCS, enable. There we go. All right. Boom. Get that thing out of here. Let it burn into bits on the atmosphere. Yeah, our periapsis was very wrong. The whole thing was wrong. So I think the re-entry angles were just all jacked up, and that was part of the problem. All right, and this time. Do I want to be retrograde? I don't know. Wait, why is it not working? Hello? What have I done? I don't understand. What's the problem? Oh, I think it's working. Yeah, it is. Okay. Just takes a while. You know, if I had built the capsule properly, we wouldn't be having this issue, would we? Let's get some spin going. Okay. It's pretty stable spin. We got a little bit of a sunset re-entry here. Very exciting. Eileen goes to space. Good for her. Okay, I'll time warp till we get a little bit lower in the atmosphere. Oops, wrong button. This one. Let's go to... I don't know, we'll wait till we get to like 90. Things do start to heat up a little bit around there. Goodbye, sun. I guess we're doing this in the dark. Can't really see nothing. All right, there's 90 kilometers. I'm gonna try to orient more into that retrograde for safety. There we go. Just using the W and S key to kind of dial in, because those are the directions I can actually... I can't yaw, I can only pitch, basically, with this thing. And then I'll increase my spin. Okay, that seems pretty safe. The ablator is beginning to wear off a little bit, but Eileen is still pretty comfortable. Simulated Eileen was starting to warm up at this point, but thankfully she's okay this time. Temperature. Is that the environment that she's in? What is 100? No, that doesn't make sense, right? 192. That must be around her outside. Because 192, sorry, 1 second. I'm looking this up on my phone. 192 Kelvin to Fahrenheit. Yeah, that's negative 114 degrees. I don't think that's the temperature inside her capsule. Though it might be. I guess if she's in a spacesuit, if she's in some sort of heated, insulated spacesuit, I guess the inside of the capsule could be that temperature. I don't know how the Mercury capsule worked, so maybe it is that cold in there. I don't know. No idea how any of that worked. All right, we're at 70 kilometers. Things should be, yep, starting to get fiery right about now. G-forces are up above 1. So if she's sitting sideways, it feels pretty normal, but it's about to start to get a lot worse. G's are up above 2 now. Will Eileen faint from the extreme G-forces placed upon her body? Chances are yes. Yes, she will. G-forces are up to 4 now. Gosh, imagine weighing 600 pounds or whatever. Your poor bones and blood. 6 G-forces. Creeping up to 7 G-forces. Slowing down a lot, though. We're down to 4,500 meters a second. Just hang in there. Hang in there, Eileen. 7 G-forces. Slowing down. Creeping up towards 8, but she held on, I think. G-forces are starting to lower. Well, no, they're kind of staying steady at this point, actually. They're not really lowering yet. We're still at 7 Gs. Okay, now things are slowly getting better, but it's still really rough. Down to 6 Gs. Slowly getting lighter. That must feel so relieving to an astronaut. Like, oh, I'm getting lighter again. Oh, this feels good. 5 Gs. Still very heavy, but it's like things are getting better. Your brain function is slowly coming back. Down to 3 Gs, which is not too bad. I think you might experience that much on a roller coaster even. All right, so now Eileen's parachute has to work properly, and she will be home safe and sound. We'll go ahead and time warp this, because there's not much to see at this point. Gosh, it's so dark. So very dark. Looks like we're going to land in water. Go through some clouds. Parachute pops. Eileen goes to freaking space. She's alive! Now send the chopper. She wants to get out of here. She wants to get the flip out of that thing. Woohoo! Everyone at Mission Control is elated. I can see... Whoa, there's a lot going on. Oh, she gets to take a vacation, a 3-month vacation. But now she retires 2 years later because she's so excited by the idea. I can see everything from here. Advanced to level 1, whatever that means. Says first human in orbit. Sitting atop a pillar of fuel, Eileen Gonzalez had a fire lit under them. Time to light this candle. And was shot into space, becoming the first human to enter into an orbit around Earth. Piloting the Cicada 2 spacecraft, the young astronaut experienced a full orbit of our planet in only 90 minutes. They commented, "I can see everything. As I look down at the Earth, I can say there's no greater beauty I've ever experienced. This is a wonderful planet. The lights of the cities at night, the fields, the deserts, the oceans, the mountains, it all shows the vast wonder of nature and the amazing efforts we've taken to make our place in it. We must protect this great planet." Damn, we haven't done a good job of that. When the time came, Eileen Gonzalez fired the craft's retro rockets and safely landed back on Earth. Yuri Gagarin was the first human in space, accomplishing that feat on April 12th, 1961. Vostok 1 was launched from Baikonur Cosmodrome, orbited the Earth one time with the flight lasting a total of 108 minutes. Wow. So I guess Mercury... So I needed to do the Vostok and use the Russian capsule if I wanted to do the orbit properly. Mercury was a suborbital flight, and it was America's first, I think, human in space situation. Did Russia... Leave a comment and let me know. I mean, I could Google all this too, but I don't know if I'm going to. I'm just curious. But I'm curious if Russia did a suborbital human flight before they did an orbital human flight or not. I could see a world where they weren't. They were like, screw it, full send. Let's just go to orbit. Oh, man, who knows? Oops, I did not mean to fly the debris. That's not the button I meant to press. Yeah, this ain't gonna fly. Quite literally. All right, so we did it. That, I think, is going to be a good wrap on the Krydax RP-1 series. I do know a lot of you are sad to see it end, but it's been a really fun one for me, and I think if I were to keep going, it would become less fun. Did we crash the game? That would be kind of funny if if that's what crashes the game. It literally crashed the game. Okay, well, I am going to pause the recording and restart the game because I wanted to look at some of our kind of milestones and stuff. So I'll be back. Okay, sorry about that, and we're back. Yeah, so let's look back a little bit at our completed contracts, the archives. We had our first launch. We were able to get to the Kármán line. We got some speed records. I don't know. Oh, I guess I could cancel things for free and that counted. I could take it and then cancel it just to see what it was. So there's a bunch of those in there. Altitude sounding rocket. We got a low space, or no, let's look at the completeds. Uncrewed altitude record. We got the downrange distant intermediate, which was just 150 kilometers downrange, but with a big payload. And then we did low space film return. And then we got a bunch of speed records because we got up to orbit, I think, or at least I guess we got the 3 megameter downrange. Then we did some low space biological experimentation. Just kind of repeated some stuff. Advanced biological suborbital experiment, which had a payload. Those were heavy. A new altitude record. Then we got our 5 megameter downrange milestone. And then finally we got to orbit in October of 1955. We had our first artificial satellite. And then we also did a polar orbit. Well, that was the same contract. Our first orbit was a polar orbit. And then we did some more satellites, got a solar powered one, sun synchronous one, got a further downrange one, some more altitude and speed records, which was above geosynchronous height. We had our first return from orbit in 1958, and then got some Earth imaging satellites. Got beyond low Earth orbit, and then our first lunar flyby was in 1960. And then we slammed into Earth also in 1960. Oh, I guess that was our first lunar thing, was slamming into it. And then we were able to get into lunar orbit in April of 1961, and then we did about 1 million. It is a bummer that these... I would love if somehow the system worked differently. I don't know if that's possible, but it just clutters up your contracts like crazy because each month was its own maintenance contract. So then we have our first lunar landing in April of 1962, which was a very big achievement. And then we were looking at an orbital test flight for our Cicada program, which eventually would take Eileen to orbit. And then we were able to get a lunar orbiter and mapper. We were able to land on the far side of the moon. We were able to get a puppy, well, it wasn't a puppy, it was a full-grown dog, in orbit and bring it back. And then we were able to get Eileen in orbit and bring her back. Woohoo! Very, very exciting. It, what? Collect basic crew science? Oh, you have to last a day or more in orbit. Okay, I see. So this is meant to be after that. So this would be our next one if we were to keep going. Orbital flight, so you can do another one. Cool. Well, we had a great run. I really enjoyed this system as well. The program system felt really rewarding. It worked well, mixed with the contract system. Really enjoyed all of this. We got some new options for flight directors. I wonder which one's a good one. Lasting legacy, people can go longer and they train a little faster, but they cost a little more. Honestly, that might be the one that I would do. Or this one, faster and cheaper training. Oh, but losing reputation from decay? I guess that doesn't matter once you've got maxed reputation. That's not a huge deal. This one's also pretty strong. 5% faster. Ooh, these are all good. This one's not quite as good if you're maxed reputation, but if you're not maxed, it's nice. Cheaper crew training and salary, but slower. Slow and steady wins the race, I guess. SLV and PLSLV. Integration speed with a lot of liters of solid propellant. And confidence from contracts. Interesting. Huh. Cool, cool, cool. All right, well, I do think we'll call it there. I really appreciate you guys being a part of this series. It's been an awesome time. Maybe someday we'll get beyond the moon or get humans to the moon in a different RP-1 series, but as of now, we will call it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments about the series. It's been a really fun one, and I hope you all do your own series. And please come to the Krydania Discord and let me know. There's a Kerbal Space Program channel in there, and if you're playing your own RP-1 or even non-RP-1, let me know how it's going. Send pictures. I love to talk Kerbal Space Program. Even though I'm not playing it after this video, I would love to talk about it. So hit me up in the Discord or hit me up in the YouTube comments and we can chat. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next series.